A YouTube superstar with over 3 million subscribers, and he's only 21 years old. You are so fascinating, my friend. I cannot wait to learn everything about you.
I didn't even expect this to happen. Like, I literally went to bed one night as a normal kid that just had a normal life, and then instantly overnight, my whole life changed. I went from 3,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers in that first week. And it was just absolutely insane. I remember everyone at school was just freaking out, and I was freaking out. My phone was blowing up. Like, I couldn't answer any messages because just subscriber. My biggest goal is I want to change the world as much as I can. As ambitious as that sounds, I want to make it happen.
Okay, you kind of blew me away right there. Hi, I'm Leslie Lowe. Welcome to Leslie's Lowdown on Life. Today we're here with Lucas, aka Ghoulz. He is a content creator for Fortnite, a YouTube superstar with over 3 million subscribers, and he's only 21 years old. I mean, just 21 years old. You are so fascinating, my friend. I cannot wait to learn everything about you, but I'm going to start here with your online name.
Yeah.
Ghoulz, spelled G-H-O-U-L-Z.
Yep.
Some people would argue it's Ghouls, and they do.
A lot of people like to mispronounce it. I mean, I feel like there is honestly no right way to pronounce it because I actually made the name from a random name generator. So, you know, YouTube was always my dream, but I never actually thought that it would actually work for me. So I was just like, I can't think of a name. I'm gonna go to a random name generator. Gave me that name and I just rolled with it. So yeah, I mean, it's probably actually pronounced Ghouls, but I pronounce it as Ghoulz.
As Ghoulz. And so I think goals, achieving goals, setting goals.
Yes.
So tell me your story, my friend. Where did this all start?
Yeah, so I started making videos. I've been making videos my entire life. Like, it's always just been my fascination, and I've always just loved it so much. And so I actually started really taking it seriously when I was just 6 years old. I would beg my dad to use his laptop, and I taught myself how to edit by just watching YouTube tutorials and everything. And then I started making videos with my sisters, so we started just making different challenge videos and stuff and just trying to have as much fun as possible. And it never was about like, I want to make this work, I want to get as many views as possible. I was doing it just because I solely loved creating content. And so yeah, that's really where it just started. And then it wasn't until I turned 14 years old is when I actually had my massive like takeoff and blow up. I went from 3,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers in that first week, and it was just absolutely insane. I remember everyone at school was just freaking out, and I was freaking out. My phone was blowing up. Like, I couldn't answer any messages because just subscriber. And so yeah, once I blew up at 14, then I just continued to try to go as much as I possibly can, and now, yeah, I just turned 21, so it's been an insane ride for sure.
It has been an insane ride, so that is where I was going to start with that next question is, okay, when did you know you were onto something? Because it wasn't so much about playing the games, it was about creating behind the scenes. So at 14, that's when you knew it clicked, but you were creating rather than playing. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I think that's like a huge misconception that a lot of people think that I just sit down and play a video game all day. And what's crazy is I actually never played video games at all growing up. I never actually was a fan of them. I was just a sports kid. I always loved playing outdoors and everything. But I knew I had a passion for YouTube. And a super popular game, it actually was the biggest game in the world, Fortnite came out. All my friends at school are playing it, everyone's talking about it, and I was like, this is my perfect opportunity to mix my passion with something that's trending, to see if I can get my name and my personality out there, because I knew I wanted to do YouTube. And so yeah, I started making Fortnite videos, wasn't able to get anything really to take off initially, and then me and my buddy started a trend called a Fortnite fashion show. And so everybody within the game was, you know, buying skins, and they were buying all these things, but there was no purpose for it. And so I was like, I want to create a challenge where I can include all my subscribers to compete, and they can show off everything that they're buying. And so it was a great blend to be able to interact with all of my subscribers, as well as to kind of show off and make a competition out of it. And then what we did was the winner of all these series would get a shout out at the end. So it was like a super interactive way of all my subscribers can meet me, they can all join this, compete, and then they could win a shout out to start their YouTube career at the end. So
okay, so as a mom who's bought many skins, explain what a skin is.
I don't even, it's like an in-game, I guess you would call it like an outfit. Yeah, an outfit. And so, I mean, I realized that a lot of moms were upset because I was one of those kids too. Like, Mom, can I have your credit card? I want to buy this. And she would always say no. rightfully so, because it doesn't make sense. Like, why do you need to buy that? They were expensive.
Yeah.
They're like sometimes $50. But I knew that there was a gap because everyone was making their parents pay for their like skins and their outfits, but there was no purpose for it. So I wanted to create a purpose where they can compete and kind of show them off. So that's where it initially started.
That's where it all started.
Yes.
Was there ever a time that you were like, oh, I don't know if I can do this? Maybe you wanted to give up?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I think all the time, honestly, especially when I was first starting. I mean, the kids at school made it very challenging. They were super mean, and especially when I first started, before it actually started to take off, they would play my videos on the screen in school in front of the teachers, everybody, and everyone would just laugh, and I would just put my head down because I was so embarrassed, and like everyone would just be so mean, like, this is never gonna work for you, you should quit, all this stuff. And then when it actually did work, there were still a bunch of mean people. Like, I remember I walked out of school and they were keying my car, they were kicking it. I had like my front bumper, they just like stepped on it and like crunched the bumper down. I mean, people were just complete jerks, and so that led me to, kind of forced to be able to switch to online school for the rest of high school. So.
Well, that makes me sad, actually. That's jealousy right there,
for
right?
Sure.
That's 100% jealousy because they weren't able to do what you were doing. But that had to be really hard at your age to kind of maneuver through all of that. How you did switch to online school?
I did.
But how else did you get through that?
Yeah, I mean, it was really challenging for sure. I think it was super isolating. I mean, I was so young. I was 14, so much rapid success. I didn't even expect this to happen. Like, I literally went to bed one night as a normal kid that just had a normal life, and then instantly overnight, my whole life changed. And so much pressure initially. I mean, yeah, I was doing like 40 million views a month at that time. And that was just, I mean, so much pressure. 40 million people rely on me to continue to entertain them, be a positive influence, and I'm just trying to protect my image at a 14-year-old, and that's so young, it was so hard. I had such a good heart, but people make mistakes, and I didn't want people to hate me for my mistakes, and so, yeah, it was very isolating. I had no friends that I could relate to. No one, even really in the Spokane area, was doing YouTube. I mean, even now, there's only like 3 YouTubers that I know of that actually are here in the Spokane area. So, I mean, yeah, it was super isolating, super challenging, and there was no handbook. There was no blueprint of, okay, you should do this, you should avoid this. I mean, I was just all by myself and just having to figure it out, honestly, by trial and error. So it was a challenge for sure.
Well, I just think about those years anyway. They're already difficult. I mean, let's not joke around. Junior high, high school years, they're difficult. You're just trying to figure out who you are, and you think you're doing this great thing. You're feeling really good about what you're doing. You've just hit it, and it just is such an odd turn that, some people, they just can't handle that and that jealousy, and that's a lot of pressure on you. So for you to have come out that on the other side, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge. I don't know, a lot of young people that are starting YouTube, I like to sit them down and be like, do you know what you're really getting into? Because like, it definitely was, it was hard. I mean, it left me in really, really dark spaces a lot of times. And I mean, it was an incredible fun ride, but at the same time, there was a lot that came with it. And so I think it's a lot more challenging than a lot of people initially think, for sure.
And I don't think people look at that when they look at the overall picture and they're like, oh, he's got over 3 million subscribers.
Yeah, he just makes videos all day.
He's got the perfect life. Everything is perfect and great all the time, but they don't see all the work that went into it and some of the heartache that went along with it as well.
Yeah, I mean, so much work. I started, like I was saying, when I first initially blew up when I was 14, it was just so much work. So I uploaded daily videos for 2 years straight. I didn't miss a single day. And I was still full-time in school. So I would go to school, I would come home, and I would film a video and edit it all night. I barely got any sleep, and I did that for 2 years straight. Every single day I did that. Weekends, nothing, not a single day off. I did that because I knew I didn't want to just be a one-hit wonder. I wanted to really make this my career because it's finally my childhood dream coming true. And when I was just so isolated, just making those videos every single day, I honestly had 0 friends. So when I first blew up, I didn't have a single friend that I could call or even share the excitement with or anything. It was literally just my dad that was there. And yeah, I didn't have anybody to talk to because I was just so isolated, and I just was so focused on what I was doing that I wanted to make it work. And so it was definitely challenging for sure.
I was just going to ask you, what kind of a role did your dad play in all of this and supporting you with this vision that you had? And of course, as parents, we're like, video games, we don't understand everything. So it's like, it sounds like he was a huge support for you because he was there for you. But tell me about, like, how did he help you facilitate through all of this? And how did he understand it all?
Yeah, I think it was always hard for him to understand. He still doesn't, I think, fully comprehend or understand it. But what I love about my dad the most is he was always just supportive of whatever it was. So initially, wanted to be a drummer. So he would just help me chase my dreams. And whenever we would go to a concert, he would sneak me backstage and get me to meet the drummer that was of the huge band that I loved. Like, he was just always like super supportive of whatever my dream was. And that's what I really appreciate about him, is that he wasn't like, oh, I have this path set out for you. I want you to be a doctor. I want you to be this. It was just whatever my passion was, he was going to give me 150% of his effort to try to make it happen so I could chase my dreams. And so when he saw that I really wanted to take YouTube seriously, he just went all in with me. And obviously I was so young, and so I didn't know how to handle the business side. I mean, I'm 14 years old learning how to pay taxes, set up a 401k. I have now payroll taxes for my employees that are out. I mean, it was just so much to comprehend at such a young age. And so, yeah, it was super helpful to have him right by my side. And honestly, I would never be here without him, because I remember even before I blew up, I was begging him to get a computer. I really wanted a computer because I knew if I had that computer, I could now produce these good videos that it would do good. And I begged him. I was like, Dad, can we please go to Best Buy? Can you please buy me this computer? It was like $1,500, and he was, you know, it's super taken back. I mean, a 14-year-old wanting $1,500, that's a lot of money. He didn't have the money for that. But I remember he was just like, I got you, and I just want you to pay me back one day. And I think that was actually a week before I blew up. So I had the computer, and then a week before, and the week after I blew up, and then I paid him back instantly. So it's been super helpful to just have somebody that constantly believed in me and saw the potential in me.
I'm just thinking, as a 14-year-old, most of us can't even walk and talk, let alone talk about, you know, paying taxes and, you know, setting up a business in general. So that's pretty impressive that your dad was right there alongside of you. So I'm thinking there's a lot that goes into this. I mean, I think a lot of people think, oh, you just flip on a camera and a light and you just go and that's it. But how did you figure out, because you're self-taught? I mean, it sounds like you just kind of dug in, figured out what you needed to do. So how did you do that?
Yeah, I think honestly, like the biggest thing that I tell a lot of people that are trying to start YouTube, which helped me the most, was just studying my inspiration. So I was like the biggest consumer of YouTube. I would watch every YouTuber, and I would be able to, I feel like this is really my strong suit. I'm not good at many things, but I feel like this is the one thing that I'm really good at, is I'm able to like see what everybody else is doing. I'm able to pinpoint like exactly what they're doing that I love, that made them successful, and what their flaws were that I didn't like, that I was like, okay, if I was in their shoes, I'm not gonna do that because I know how that made me feel as a viewer. And so I kind of just used that super skill over all the YouTubers that I saw. I saw everything that I liked, everything that worked for them, everything that didn't work, and then I combined all of that, mixed with my personality, and I feel like that's kind of what I was able to do. So.
Yeah, that's a talent all in itself. That is a huge life skill in general. Okay, so what advice would you give parents of, you know, young YouTubers right now who are just getting started? What advice would you give the parents?
Honestly, I think the main thing is just believing in your kid and supporting them no matter what. Because obviously, like, I mean, I had my fair shout of even my parents doubting me of like, you know, what are you doing? Go outside. Like, why are you playing video games? Your YouTube thing's not going to work. And I mean, yeah, it was definitely weird for them too, because like I said, I never was a gamer, but all of a sudden I was just like, this is my opportunity to take it. And they didn't understand how trendy Fortnite was. And I knew that this was such a big opportunity that I had to maximize it. And so I think my biggest advice would, like I said, is just be supportive of your kids in whatever they're doing, whether it's YouTube or whatever their dream is, just be supportive no matter how you can and help them in that way. So I think that would be my best advice for sure.
That is really good advice, you know, for a parent. What advice would you give young YouTubers that are just getting started?
That's hard. I mean, I feel like I have so much advice. I feel like the main thing, if you want to do good, is like what I said. Like, if you really want to go viral on YouTube, I think is, you know, really just study your competition and study all the people that are really crushing your best. Like, I like to put it this way, like, if you go to the best spaghetti restaurant ever, it's like the best spaghetti, you are not going to want to go somewhere else that's like on a side shop, right? You're always going to keep going back to that best spaghetti spot. And so if I want to start a spaghetti restaurant, I'm not going to go study the random shops on the side of the street that nobody's going to. I'm going to go to the best spaghetti shop that everybody's going to. I'm going to learn exactly what the recipe is, exactly what they did, and then I'm going to make it my own, because you already know that it's working. So I feel like that would be my best advice, would just be, you know, kind of just see what's working and then make it your own and unique. And I think that's kind of what worked for me, so I feel like it'll work for a lot of other people.
And with the stuff that comes along with it, that we just talked about, the isolation sometimes, maybe the jealousy that comes along with it, what's that emotional support you would give them?
I feel like just knowing that you're not alone, like there's other people. I mean, it's hard when you feel so isolated, especially in this area. There's not a lot of people you can relate with and stuff, but eventually, as I grew up and started to kind of get out of Spokane area, I found so many people that I can actually relate with, and I was able to meet with all these other YouTubers. It's hard because we have such a global audience and such a global connection now, because I mean, I just met a friend that was from Northern Ireland, and now we're best friends, and we're able to connect about YouTube, and it made me feel less alone because we both are just on the same path and everything. And so it's definitely a challenging barrier for sure, because everyone's around the world, but once you're able to meet those people, it's phenomenal.
It kind of brings the world a little bit closer, doesn't it?
100%, yeah. All of us YouTubers around the world can connect, and we can all just inspire the whole globe. Because, I mean, we were just looking at our analytics the other day. We have people from India and Sweden. I mean, there's all over the whole world are consuming this content. And so it's really cool, the reach that you actually have. And if you're able to use that for a positive impact, it's crazy, because you can just reach millions and millions of people and hopefully be able to make them smile and make an impact.
That's so cool. Okay, what's been your biggest success?
Biggest success? Probably like this last Christmas, we did a charity initiative. We partnered with, I think it was 8 to 10 different brands. We did 8 to 10 different charities, I believe. And it was really cool. It was a win for everybody, because the brands were able to give us some products. We were able to give those products to the charities to help them out. And it was just so cool, and I was able to use my platform to just inspire other people to do the same. And I just want to be able to, like, my ultimate goal, I really feel like I was given this platform for a reason, to be able to change the world. Like, that is my ultimate mission. No matter how much money I make, whatever materialistic things, I don't care about any of that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I definitely started caring about that when I was younger, because every young kid's like, oh, I want a cool car, I want this. Yeah. But as I grew older, I was like, this is just so empty. It's not fulfilling at all. And so I knew my purpose was so much greater. And so, yeah, I'm really just chasing my purpose right now of being able to change the world as much as I possibly can and use my platform to make people smile, but also inspire them to help other people.
Yeah, you're definitely doing that for sure. You're a very thoughtful 21-year-old.
I'm trying my best. I mean, it's definitely, this whole thing has forced me to grow up very quickly, for sure.
I bet it has. Do you have any like heroes or people that you've looked up to throughout your time doing this whole phenomenon?
As cliche as it sounds, probably my dad and Jesus, for sure. Like, I feel like Jesus was a perfect example of what I want to do. He loved everybody, no matter who they are or what they've done. And that's exactly what I want to be. I feel like that was a great inspiration for me. And so, yeah, same with my dad. He raised me in a great way to be content. I feel like that was the best thing that he raised me in, is just like, no matter what I have, I'm happy with what I have. Because I feel like a lot of YouTubers and celebrities just constantly want to keep pushing that barrier of like, I need more, I need more, I need more. And that leads you to honestly be corrupt. Like, I see a lot of these celebrities, like, you know, breaking down and stuff. And I think it's just because of they're constantly chasing that next materialistic thing, and it's so empty. They're constantly chasing that void. And so just being content in what I have and happy no matter what it is. Like, I could live in a cardboard house on the side of the street and I would be so happy with exactly what I have, because that's just how I was raised. And so, yeah.
I think that that's one of those things as people gain celebrity, right? Is they do keep thinking all the things are going to fill them up, and they 100%. Don't. They don't fill them up. So you have to find that other purpose for sure. So Mr. Beast, let's see, who's the Ninja? Yeah. Well, you know all these guys.
I do a little bit, yeah. I have a ton of mutual friends with Mr. Beast. I've heard that he's an amazing guy. I'm excited to actually be able to meet him in person. I actually won one of his gaming videos, I think it was 2 years ago now, actually, and his mic was broken. It got scrapped, but he promised me to be a main character in one of his main channel videos. So that will be coming up soon. I'm super excited for that. And Ninja, unfortunately, I have not met yet, but same thing. I've heard amazing things about him, and hopefully one day I can meet him soon. So
that's cool. How do you think the online community has changed for better or for worse? Or have you seen anything that has changed? And I say more toxic, you know? Has it been more toxic, or do you think it's gotten better? I
think there definitely is a fair share of toxic stuff. But I was just actually thinking about this on the drive here, which is crazy that you asked this. We just got done filming a video. I got 100 of the most famous YouTubers to be a part of my video. It was like the biggest collab video. It's honestly the best video that I've ever made. I'm super excited to post it. But yeah, we just got back from LA from filming that video. And I was just thinking about it on the drive here, is like, every YouTuber that I met was so humble and such like a good heart. And so I was just like thinking about it. I was just like, I'm so thankful that these amazing humans are all leading the next generation in such a great way. Don't get me wrong, there is some that are bad apples, but everyone that I met, and we've met like almost all the biggest YouTubers right now that are really pushing the platform forward and inspiring millions of people, and they all had such genuine, amazing hearts. And so, yeah, I feel like it's just such an amazing area that we're in right now. I mean, everyone's just trying to do their best and really just trying to make a positive impact. I feel like, at least everyone that I met, it was incredible.
How do you deal with any of the negative comments that come your way? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I think initially it was very challenging for me, for sure. Like I said, I was so young, and so everyone's just roasting me about everything. And growing up in the spotlight was hard. I mean, everyone would talk about my acne or my hair or whatever it was. I mean, it was just, or I had braces too. Like, it was just, I had through all these like different transition periods in my life where I was growing up in the spotlight, and there was so much hate on who I was and my personality, my looks, or what I was doing. And so it definitely was challenging for sure, but I feel like I've gotten a little bit more used to it as I get older. It's definitely something that you get used to, but there's still every now and then at night you'll be reading your comments, and if it's like super personal, you're like, oh, that one stings.
I know it does. It kind of gets you, doesn't
for sure.
it?
It definitely still gets you every now and then, for sure.
You know, the one thing that I think I've learned just over the last year is like players who are out on the field, they don't put down, you know, other players. They know how hard it is to be on the field.
Yeah.
It's the haters. They're sitting up in the cheap seats because
hate
they're
never comes from above.
Never comes from above. So they're just in the cheap seats and they don't understand what it takes to be on the field. And there's that jealousy and everything that goes along with it. So you have to learn to tune it out. But 100%. It is, you can get 100 great comments and one negative comment, and that negative comment just like, oh.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. So yeah, that's just how I kind of look at it. Like, I can't just give up pursuing my dream and making it. My goal is to obviously make an impact as much as I can. I can't just give up with that just because of a few hate comments. I mean, even if there's one positive comment that felt inspired by my videos, or I made them laugh, or whatever it was, if there was any positive impact on them, it's worth it to me no matter how much hate I get.
How are you inspiring new YouTubers?
Yeah, I feel like my really main goal is just to chase their dreams no matter what. I feel like I meet so many parents that are constantly telling their kids like, oh, it's never gonna work out, like you shouldn't. And no matter what their dream, even if it isn't YouTube, if they want to be an astronaut, whatever their crazy dream is, like, I really just want to inspire them that I am living proof that I had all the haters. I was just a normal kid from a small town in Spokane, Washington, and I had a crazy dream, and I just went for it. And I truly believe like anything can happen if you really work really hard at it. So I think that's really what I want to inspire them, is chase your dreams no matter what. I
love your attitude. So looking back now to all the people that hated on you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about them now?
Yeah. I used to, like, I feel like when I first blew up, I definitely had a different feeling. I was just like, I don't know, it was kind of a little bit of a revenge feeling of like, yeah, look at this, like, I told you so, I'd do it one day. But nowadays, like, I don't know, I feel like I've really matured, and I still just love them no matter what. I definitely have to keep them at a distance. Like, I can't make them my best friend because I know that, you know, originally they weren't the nicest to me, but I still completely get along with them. And it's crazy because actually the other day we were out, I think we were at a restaurant with some friends, and I had the whole group of kids that were the biggest jerks to me in high school, so mean. They all came up to me and they're like, Lucas, what's up, man? I'm so proud of you, whatever. And I don't know, I just feel like it is what it is. I feel like they were also so young, I can't hold them to it. They never knew it was gonna work, and I feel like they probably were mean to me because someone else was mean to them. And so, I don't know, I feel like I've just kind of been able to love everybody no matter who they are, and just kind of move past it at this point, honestly.
You are just such a great role model. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to go back to you grew up in Spokane. You could really kind of set home base anywhere you want to now.
Yeah.
You're a grown-up, but you chose to stay here in the area.
I did.
Why?
I get asked this so much. Like, over the past week, I probably got asked this like 30 times. And what I always tell everybody is that I love Spokane and the vibe of the small town because I can stay humble and I can stay grounded, because that's so important to me. And like I said, like, my super skill is to see a lot of things of like where other creators went wrong. And where I see a lot of them go wrong is they move to LA or Miami or some other big city, and they get so lost in the lifestyle, and then they stop focusing on what their dream was, and then it just all goes away. And so that was super important for me, is like, it's great to be able to go out to these places and network and have fun and meet all these people, but then it's super important for me to be able to come back and be isolated and just lock in and focus on my dream and stay grounded. So
yeah, I was just going to say, grounded.
Exactly.
It keeps you grounded.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's super important for me. I never want to, and I never will get lost. I hope. I never want to. I never will. So
I think you're pretty focused, which is good. I mean, if you're aware, then you're always going to stay focused.
Exactly. 100%.
Exactly. I want to give you a second to talk about your team a little bit, because you don't do this by yourself.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Thankfully, not anymore. I did for a long time, but I was like, dude, this is hard to maintain. So I think that was the biggest thing that my dad taught me as well, is like, as soon as this took off, he's like, you got to turn this into a business. And so I initially was always business minded. At 14, I'm like, okay, how am I going to continue to scale the business, but also how can I offload some of the most like time-consuming tasks that I was doing? So the first thing was an editor. I hired many editors. I had editors all around the whole world, but that was always a big challenge because the time zone difference was hard, and then also like reliability. Like they weren't always reliable, just because I got an editor in India or I got an editor in the Netherlands, whatever it is. And so it was definitely challenging there. And so I think this is the next growth phase that I've really been focusing heavily on over the last year and a half, is really just bringing all the team local and in-house, actually in the warehouse. So now we've scaled to, I believe we have 4 or 5 in-house full-time employees. So I have my COO, Julie, and then Ryder. We have 2 editors. So yeah, it looks like we have 4 in-house employees right now. It's constantly changing and switching. At one point, I think we had like 6 or 7 in here. And then outside of that, we have a talent agency. I believe they have like close to 30 people on their team that's always constantly working for brand deals and other management opportunities. I have an ideation team for basic like strategy and everything, because I knew that ideas were going to be so hard as I'm so focused on like trying to execute and record the content. I don't even have brain capacity to think of the next 30 ideas. And so I hired an ideation guy that helps with all the ideas. They're a team of 3 guys that help with just kind of thinking of the ideas and the best strategy of what we can do moving forward. And then we have a few contractor, like we have a thumbnail designer as well, and then a few like contractor editors we work with. And so, yeah, it's kind of what the team's looking like right now.
It kind of takes a village, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. And that's definitely been probably the most time-consuming part right now, is honestly just managing the team. It's definitely a whole learning curve, because I blew up just wanting to be a content creator and record videos and entertain, but now it's a whole business I got to run. So yeah, it's definitely been exciting, but a lot of challenges come with it for sure.
A lot of work that goes along with it too.
For sure.
Do you have any exciting collaborations coming up?
Yeah, I was just talking about the video that we just did. We got 100 of the biggest YouTubers to all collaborate in one video, so I'm super excited for that. And yeah, we have a bunch of other opportunities I'm super excited for. I feel like right now I'm just so slam-packed with so many opportunities. Like, it's getting hard because we have to really now filter like what opportunities we say no to, but it's hard because so many opportunities are so great, and I love being able to fulfill these opportunities. I don't want to let anybody down, and so I'm really just trying to work myself like a robot to fulfill all these opportunities. So yeah, it's been crazy.
All right, so you have a lot on your plate right now, but you've teamed up with Hoopfest. So you're going to be downtown in the middle of it all, Toyota shoot-off. You're going to be at the slam dunk contest. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's going to be an amazing opportunity. They reached out to me and they're like, we'd love to have you. And so it was an honor. I mean, I grew up playing Hoopfest, and so it's super cool to be a part of such an amazing event for our community. And so, yeah, they told me that I'm allowed to be a part of hosting the dunk contest and the Toyota shoot-off. So I can't wait. It's a privilege. It's going to be incredible.
That'll be a lot of fun. You're really tall, so that they're going to try to make you slam dunk a few balls,
They're
right?
definitely going to try for sure. But yeah, it's going to be incredible. I'm super excited.
Well, I think Ghoulz has some new goals. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I feel like obviously my biggest goal is I want to change the world as much as I can. As ambitious as that sounds, I want to make it happen. So I have huge visions of like rebuilding a school in Uganda and stuff like that. I really want to be able to do that, and we were working on it a few months ago, but we need to pick it back up and continue to finish it. It's really hard because the execution of actually pulling that off is extremely difficult. We have to put everything in a shipping container, get it trained over or shipped over, and that's all you have. There's no Home Depot you can just walk to and get supplies to build. If you forget a hammer, it's over. You got to use your head or something. I don't know. So yeah, it's definitely been super exciting for that opportunity. We are launching a paid community app, which I'm super excited for. It actually just went live on the App Store today. So we'll be announcing that and kind of doing some promotion for that. And I'm super excited for that because I can actually one-on-one interact with all my subscribers and really be able to inspire them in a way on a one-to-one level instead of just a YouTube video. I can actually chat with them. I can do exclusive live streams and stuff like that. So I'm super excited for that. We got a clothing line on the way. I mean, there's so many opportunities. I'm really looking to do like a consumer product as well. I really want a product, whether it's a candy or whatever it is, in like Walmart and Target. That's like one of my big dreams. So I have so many goals. It's just a matter of how do I find time to make them actually in reality.
Okay, you kind of blew me away right there because I thought you were going to say, oh, I'm going to just switch up and start doing maybe some lifestyle content
yes. Well,
creation.
that as well.
Right,
yes,
right.
Yes,
but no, you want to build a school in Uganda, which again, no small feat, and just wow, that's amazing. You've got your own clothing line you're hoping to come out with, candy bars. I mean, yeah, I think we've just scratched the surface
100%.
of who Lucas/Ghoulz is.
100%. Yeah, and like I said, I never was a gamer at all, and I think it was a great opportunity to learn all the in and outs of YouTube with the gaming content, but now it's time for my next path of the lifestyle, in real lifestyle content. That's where my true passion was. That's where I started making videos with my sister and everything, and so that's what I'm super excited for. So that's the video we just got done filming, and I'm kind of just going all in with that. I was super nervous because there's a huge learning curve to all of it. There's so much traveling, so much time, and so I kind of been holding off for the last couple of years, really just trying to maintain the gaming and keep that going for the business, but now it's just like I'm turning that switch and I'm going all into the lifestyle stuff. So super excited for that. I'm just going to try to make the most authentic, genuine, just inspiring content that anyone can enjoy from the ages 0 to 100. So super excited for it.
You know what, my friend? I have absolutely no doubt that you're going to change the world.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Trying my best.
Yeah, best of luck to you. Thanks for sitting down with us today.
Of course, yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, we'll be seeing a lot more of you. You think you'll check back in?
100%.
Come back?
Yes, 100%.
Come back on and fill us in on where you're at?
Anytime.
Okay,
I'd love to.
I'd love that.
Sweet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.